Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I've got for you some delicious rose fragrances. A couple of these smell like Turkish delight and a couple more kind of err a little bit on the Turkish delight realm. Beautiful rose and vanilla kind of fragrances that I think you'll love. But before we go there, I need to tell you this video is sponsored by Luisa. You may have seen my previous video where I was sponsored by Luisa, and I loved their jewellery. Really was surprised at the quality of it. I've been wearing it a lot and I've been really surprised at how well it's lasted, how it's not tarnished and none of the plating has come off. So when they got in touch and said we'd like to do another video for Black Friday, would you work with us again? I jumped at the chance because it meant I'd get a bit more jewellery from them. So thank you very much, Luisa. The reason I really like this brand and I've decided to work with them is because they're a carbon neutral company. That's my cat scratching at the mat. Cat scratches on the mat. No, the cat sat on the mat, isn't it? They are 100% carbon neutral, so whatever they take, they give back in terms of their packaging and how they source their materials, how they dispose of their materials. And as I said, the jewellery that I received from them before, the quality was so good. I'll show you now in the packaging what I received. So we just wanted to show you how the packaging is. So when you first receive the jewellery, it comes in this nice simple little box. I like that there's no excessive amount of packaging. I find it really annoying. Not only is it bad for the environment, it's a pain to dispose of, or you have to keep hold of it and reuse it. And if it's really big, then I tend to not really have a need for that too much, so it takes up space in my house. So in here then you have the jewellery in pouches, so each piece is in its own individual pouch. So let's show you what's in this one. If there's cat hairs, that's sweetie. It's not come from the company. I've had these out a few times to look at, but I've kept them in the packaging because I want to show you how they look. So these are the mini Kinoko marble blue earrings. They are 14 karat gold plated on brass, on hypoallergenic and hand painted. So this blue detailing here, you can see that is actually hand painted. They've still got the clear plastic on to protect them, so that's how they will come when you first get them. I think these are beautiful. I really like them. Can't wait to get them on. And then the next thing we have is the eye coin necklace set. So this is actually two necklaces. This is a necklace here and this is a necklace here, so you can wear them together or separately. £91 and it's 14 karat gold on brass, hypoallergenic, and that's the protective amulet, the evil eye that you can see there. And the next item we have is the camille earrings. That's them there. These are 14 karat gold plated and they have lapis lazuli semi-precious stones inlaid. So you can see the blue stone in there and there, and these are £69. All the jewellery comes with a whole year's guarantee, so you are safe if you do have any issues. I think their prices are very reasonable, but they do have a Black Friday sale on, which means the prices are even more reasonable. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description box below. And as you can see, I'm actually wearing the jewellery. I'm wearing the necklace I just showed you. I'll come in close. Now I've teamed this necklace with this open top shirt. I think an open shirt or blouse really displays it nicely. And I'm just going to show you, oh, you can see my microphone. Show you up close how it looks on. So this is a separate necklace. So I really like that. It's not too in your face, but it's eye-catching. And then the earrings, the Camille earrings that you can see with the lovely blue. I love blue, which is why I've chosen blue in the jewellery, and a lot of my clothes are blue, so that's why I've done that. Hopefully there's no earwax that you can see in there. So let's get on with the perfumes, because I know that's what you're here for. So we're going to start with this one here. It's a beautiful rose fragrance. Elie Saab Essence No. 1 Rose. It is discontinued, but you can still find it. Every now and then you can find it at really good prices, much cheaper than it was. And this is quite simply, according to the notes, it's just rose. That's all there is. Different types of rose, but just rose is the only thing listed. I get more than that. I've got it on my arm here. I've got a little bit of a layering thing going on. I'm going to tell you about that as well. So this on its own is a very rich rose, kind of jammy, but not sugary, but just very, very rich. The rose is sweet, but not a synthetic added sugar sweetness. And then when it dries down, I think there's an ambery base. I think there's a little bit of labdanum. Now labdanum can sometimes smell leathery, but that's not what I'm getting here. This is a very sticky and slightly sweet, almost like a big thick gooey note of caramel, but without any extra sugar. So imagine caramel, but really bring that sugar level right down. So you've just got a slightly sweet, sticky base in here with the rose. That's pretty much all I get. On its own, it's a very classy, a beautiful, rich red rose. But if you want a Turkish delight effect, then you could layer it with a very simple, sweet fragrance. I like to layer it with Delizia Deep Marshmallow from Kyse Perfumes. They're based in the States. Very affordable, $23 for a 15 milliliter. Very simplistic marshmallow scent. Powdery. I think it's a touch rosy. There's no rose listed in this either, but it smells like a rose scented marshmallow, therefore more on the Turkish delight side of things. This is a fantastic fragrance on its own, or to add a sweet marshmallow element to anything, but with that rose from Elie Saab, you kind of get a bit of a Turkish delight thing going on. It's really lovely. This is a very fluffy, musky, powdery, exactly like the outside of a marshmallow, you know, the dry powdery outside of a marshmallow. It's amazing. Another Gourmand rose is Two More Hearts from Lush. I've just checked that it's still available because Lush have a habit of discontinuing stuff. This one is still on their website, but you can't get the 30ml, which is this one. This is 30ml. You can only get the 100. It's £80. I think it's good value because they use a lot of naturals. So Two More Hearts has ylang ylang, jasmine, and rose absolute. They're all naturals. You also have natural sandalwood in here and natural lemon. The lemon cuts through the sweetness and almost lends a slightly soapy, clean, astringent feel to the opening, which I don't particularly love, but it doesn't hang around too long, and I think it just helps balance everything out. And then as it dries down, you get the florals, but for me, I mostly get the rose. I'd say the rose is the most dominant, and it becomes sweeter. And I don't think vanilla is listed, certainly not in the ingredients that I can see, but then the writing is tiny. But it smells to me like there is some vanilla in here. You can smell the sandalwood actually. It's a nice, sweet, creamy kind of sandalwood. So this is not full-on gourmand. This is not tooth-achingly sweet, caramel, candy floss, that kind of thing. It's just that the sandalwood lends it this sweet creaminess, and you have the lovely rose, which is very rich, and so it does head towards that Turkish delight realm, but it's not quite as Turkish delighty as the next fragrances I'm going to show you. This one's just a sample. It's a small decant that my lovely friend Lizzie over at the channel Rose and Jones. If you are not following her, then what is wrong with you? Go and check her out. Her videos are amazing. I absolutely love them, and she has fantastic taste in fragrance. She sent me a sample of Delina Exclusif. Yes, Parfums de Marly, Delina Exclusif. I won't dwell too long because everyone else has already said everything that needs to be said about Delina Exclusif. I'll just add my 2 pence worth. I'm wearing it here, and it is the most beautiful rose vanilla concoction with some background notes that keep it grounded and stop it being too sweet. It's fairly sweet and creamy, especially when you first spray it, but once it starts to dry down, it feels like there's this clean white woodsiness that's in the base that stops it being too sweet. And it's kind of like a musky, powdery, rose, vanilla combination. I don't think it's anything groundbreaking, but it is a very beautifully done, a very classy, elegant, gourmand rose fragrance. And not too sweet. Quite sweet to start with, and then it seems to get a little more grounded. I almost feel like I get a hint of a cup of coffee actually from my hand at the moment, as if a coffee cup was just over there, not right under my nose, just over there, and I was just catching a little bit of the steam of the coffee on a waft with the rose and the vanilla and the powder. Very, very nice. That's Delina Exclusif. On to the ones that are really Turkish delighty to me. So another sample here. This was sent to me with an eBay purchase actually. So I was very surprised to receive such generosity to get free samples of an eBay purchase. Doesn't happen too often. And they sent me Narciso Rodriguez Poudree. And I wanted to try this for quite a long time actually, and it's absolutely stunning. I've had this on my skin now for well over 10 hours and I can still smell it. So thumbs up for longevity. But I'm going to respray it now just to tell you about the opening. In terms of notes, I think we've got 3 florals in here. We've got rose, jasmine and orange blossom. Once again, the rose to my nose is most dominant. It's a lovely rich rose. You can smell the other florals actually in the opening. They come together as a bouquet, but I feel that the rose is the leader of the pack as time goes on. And this one really does go Turkish delight to me. It's got this powdery, now this one doesn't have vanilla listed, but I absolutely get a sweet, powdery, vanilla, musky feel, as well as the rose, which just takes it to that Turkish delight territory. If you imagine your Turkish delight covered in powdered sugar, and it's rose flavoured Turkish delight with the powdered sugar. It's absolutely beautiful. It does change on your skin very, very slowly and gently. I feel like there are some base notes, I think, I can't remember what they are, patchouli, vetiver, cedar, possibly. You can get that later on in the dry down because it counteracts the sweetness, stops it being too sweet. It's quite powdery. If you don't like powdery scents, you don't really want to be worrying about this fragrance. It's probably not for you. But if you like gourmands, if you like powdery scents, if you like florals, and if you like them to be sliced through with something that's not so sweet so that you don't get overwhelmed by the sweetness, this is a really good option, because the vetiver in particular, I think the vetiver and the cedar really help this fragrance to not be too sweet later on when you're wearing it. It's beautiful. If you've tried Narciso Rodriguez Ombre, they have some components in common. Not the frangipani, not the beachiness, not the, I feel like there's a bit of ambroxan going on in Ombre, which gives it like a slightly salty edge, a salty woody edge. Not that side of it, but the other, the sweeter bits of it. It's definitely got quite a few things in common, to the point that you might not necessarily want to own both. I'd say about 50% in common with each other. So now on to my final Turkish delight. And this really is the most literal Turkish delight scent I've ever tried. It's called Traversee du Bosphore, and it is by L'artisan Parfumeur. This is a Bertrand Duchefort creation. He is a master perfumer. He's got a lot of fragrances on his CV, and this is an absolutely beautiful gourmand. It's based on the Bosphore river, which is, I think it's in Morocco, or certainly that direction of the world, Egypt, Morocco, that kind of way. And it does smell like Turkish delight. There is almond, there's sugar, there's a little bit of saffron, which gives it a little spice, but don't worry, it's not a heavy saffron. It's not like Baccarat Rouge. It's not a leathery saffron. It just gets a little bit of warmth and spice. But it's more about the rose. There's rose and there's iris, and it's very powdery. And say there's almond. I'm pretty certain there must be vanilla. It is delectable, absolutely delectable, and it really does smell like Turkish delight. It has a little bit of development on the skin. It's not completely linear, but it's not one that really changes a lot either. If you like any of these fragrances, you're probably going to like this one. If you love rose gourmands, then you really need to try this. It is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It just feels a little bit exotic. I think that must be the spice that does that. But it's not too rich. It has a translucency, so it doesn't overwhelm. You might not want to wear it in the hottest summery days because it is quite sweet, but it doesn't feel like it's too sweet because it's got this airiness about it. The scent flows lovely through the air, but you can still breathe. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's Traversee du Bosphore. Highly recommend for rose gourmand lovers. And I just want to thank once again Luisa for sponsoring this video. And I just want to give you a quick close-up of the mini Kinoko marble earrings in my ear, because I didn't realise they have movement, and they are so pretty. Really love them, and don't they look lovely with the blue top, and the gold then kind of works with the gold necklace. Really happy with those. So thank you again to Luisa for sponsoring me. As I said earlier, all the details are in the description box below. Do like the video if you like the video. Comment, let me know your favourite rose gourmands, particularly if there's something a bit under the radar. I'm always out for anything that's under the radar, a little bit secret, not hyped. Let's share some beautiful rose gourmand fragrances that we might not have heard of. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.